Labs.net video here. We always hear about the wealth factor of the last, probably since the 60s. I'm going to show you what's been happening and why the 1% are getting wealthier. So let me first run my little Python script here. What it does, it generates two charts and a set of tables. Now, I just ran it. As you can see here, process is finished. And basically what it does is there's two elements that are created. First, what we do is we grab something called a weekly M2 money supply, which is from the Fed. So what you're seeing here is from the 80s. And you can see the value of the money supply, which is basically the Fed, US Fed, is pumping money into the US economy to offer liquidity to keep the economy, specifically the markets, fluid and running with an upward direction. So what happens is when this goes on is that you can see as the US economy kind of goes up, that is indirectly the same performance that you would get in the stock market. And if you were just to put money into an ETF that focused on the S&P 500, this is pretty well the same kind of return you could somewhat expect on a compounded interest level. So a lot of people don't do that, but I can assure you that the 1% are doing this. That's how they're accumulating their wealth from the markets, among other areas in the markets that they can play. But this is pretty well adding liquidity into the market, popping the markets, and that's what can pretty well happen. You can see there's a slight slowdown in 08, 09, and it just goes, actually it accelerates, if anything, since 09 as, well, Obama decides to double, quadruple the debt of the US. So not a good thing, if you ask me, but the ones that do benefit from it are the 1% that are understanding this philosophy and do quite well with it. So that's the first chart. The second chart is basically the stats, the normalized distribution on the returns. And you can see on average it's a little more negative on the average when you do a mean of it. So overall it's still growing. But just want to show that to you. And of course, we have our what they call descriptive statistics, which is kind of important as well in here, this weekly. Now this script is from my equity trading strategy that I showcased a while back. And basically, it's pretty well the same set of statistics. You get the mean, kurtosis, skewness, number of positives, negatives. So you can see there's a lot more negative than positive weekly returns. Frequency of positives versus negatives, it's a lot more negative, obviously. And the different ranges as well, I believe on standard deviation. But I just want to show that to you. So we do track that as well. Okay, so that is pretty well what can be considered probably the ultimate wealth effect with the M2 money supply, and why pretty well the 1% do better than the rest of the world and or U.S. citizens, specifically 99%, let's say, and they also acquire something like, I can't remember the amount, 70% of the entire wealth of the U.S. is in the top 1%, and this is a pretty good, strong factor, one of the reasons why that I put that out there to you later.